Hey everybody, Jeremy here, and it's Tuesday night, and we're gonna create smart. It's gonna be awesome. Um, let's see. I don't have a lot of announcements. I should really plan ahead and think of something to say in these intros, but I never really have anything. I'm just excited to get started drawing some art. You guys may be wondering what we're working on tonight. I've been doing a lot of pastel pictures lately, but tonight I wanted to do some charcoal. I thought it'd be a nice low key night. Not Loki, the character, low key as in relaxed, and just drawing some charcoal. So that's what I plan on doing. And to change it up a little bit, I was looking at my pictures on the wall back here, and I have a lot of messy charcoal pictures of women, but I don't have any messy charcoal pictures of young men. I have like one older guy over here. He's from the show uh, Roy from Succession. That's who he is. And then I have like a younger. This is always tough. I have a young man in like pastel, but I don't have too many like messy charcoal pictures of young men in charcoal. So I wanted to give that a shot, just to get in the habit and kind of like change up like what I draw, so that I don't get in kind of a rut. So if that's okay with you guys, that's what I'm going to draw. Go ahead and switch to the overhead view. Uh, a couple of people in the chat already. We got Rome Dog in here who started early. We've got Kid in here. We've got Okay Larry, and we got Because I Can, which is great. I love it when there's people to talk to. I hate talking to myself. Pretty good crowd too. So I'm just going to get started. You guys know the drill. These messy charcoal pictures kind of just start by putting, like a lot of marks on the page, kind of like trying to fill out where different shapes might be. So this is a little bit different for like a guy, but I think we can figure this out. What I really like about this guy is he's got like some interesting hair kind of going on. So hopefully I can capture some of that. But to start, I'm just going to kind of figure out where things are. I think his face is going to be up kind of like in this area here. I think we can start like a neck coming down here, and then he's going to be wearing like a button-down shirt. So we'll see how that goes. Like, I think I'm pretty good at drawing like women portraits. Like those are a lot of fun, and they're a lot easier for me to draw because there's like less details that you have to worry about, especially like when you're drawing like older people. Looking good, Jerry. Such realism. I love it. Like when you draw older people, there's like wrinkles and stuff like that. When you're drawing young women, you don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. But then, you can kind of get stuck in a rut where you're like used to doing things a certain way. And I think it's important to kind of like change it up a little bit every now and then. So I think his mouth is going to be kind of here in the center, and I'm going to kind of build off of that. So I think his eyes are going to be kind of here. I can already, in my mind at least, kind of picture how this is going. Like it may be hard for you guys to follow along, but in my head, I already kind of am getting an idea of where things might be. Like I think his ear is going to be over here and so on. So I think that's a good start for like the big mess. Kind of get a shirt going down here. He's just wearing like a black button-down shirt. Nothing fancy. So how's everybody's week going so far? I always like to ask on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are great because it's like the start of a week. There's still like a lot of possibilities out there. You're not like trapped into like, but by Friday, the week is already figured out for you. Like there's not a lot of room to play there. It's pretty much over. But Tuesday, there's still like a promise. There's like a promise of things to come. So what I like to do for those who are, I still get some new people to this channel every now and then, especially like on the replay. What I like to do is I like to make a big old mess and then kind of smooth it out and, keep refining some of these lights that go on in here. Like I kind of figure out this is going to be like his face. I think the inspiration here is like actually like Robin from Batman. Like I've been watching a lot of Teen Titans lately, Like that's a little embarrassing for somebody my age to be watching Teen Titans. But I love DC television. Their movies aren't so great, but their animated series and like Teen Titans is pretty good as well. So like this isn't really like Robin, I guess. This is more like Nightwing, which is like Robin who's grown up and kind of became almost like a surrogate Batman. But anyway, so kind of like don't look the guy up because I don't think it's going to look exactly like the guy, but that's kind of the inspiration here. So after I get a big old mess, I kind of like to come back and lift up some of that. So the big old mess is basically to get your like bass tone down, and then from there, oh, the dog always perks up when you say, "Yeah, hey Rome, how's it going? Hey puppy." Well, if I say puppy, then my dogs will get all riled up. But anyway, so the mess is kind of like to lay down a bass tone that I work with, and then I come back and I kind of lift up some of it to kind of form some highlights and stuff, and that kind of helps me figure out, you know, basically where things are. And if you've been on this show for, you know, even a little bit of time, you see that I mess up a lot, and I come back and I kind of move things around and kind of figure it out in real time as well. So I think his chin's going to be down here. So I want to make sure that I get the angle on this nose right because I don't think I have it right yet. Yeah, I could put a Sub-Zero mask on it and call it done. Like, yeah, it was nice when, well, I guess it wasn't, I shouldn't say it was nice when COVID was around because it wasn't nice for everybody. A lot of people suffered actually. But one of the things that was decent about it was that, you know, we didn't have to care what we looked like. We could all just run around wearing masks for a while. I liked it. I liked that the place I was working at sent us home and was basically at home the entire time. I know that like some people have trouble with that. Like some people felt like isolation and stuff, but for me, I just loved it. I went for walks at the park every week, like pretty much every day. I enjoyed the lockdown myself, but I'm not like everybody else I know. Like I'm happy just kind of being a little bit isolated. Some people aren't like that. We all need people. Like loneliness is like a real problem, but I don't mind being left to my own devices sometimes. I think everybody should like go out in the woods and just be by themselves for a bit. But you probably shouldn't do that for what was that, a whole year we were locked down? That kind of sucked. They kept saying, "Oh, 2 more weeks," and it became a year or more. Like in some cases, I know that some people. I don't know. I think some people are still working from home, not going back to the office yet. Or and then some people really never actually like if you were in the you know, in like the service industry, things like that, you probably you know, not much changed for you. You still had to show up for work. In fact, that like if you were working at like Walmart or a grocery store or something, that would have sucked. Anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on 2020. 2020 sucked. No, not a Night King thing. Like I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. Maybe it'll end up being Night King. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I'm gonna leave it pretty open. I've got a reference picture, but I don't think I'm gonna stick too much to it. I think at this point I can figure out what a face looks like. Right now I'm just trying to figure out where all the pieces are. So I do think that this is probably a good start for like a hairline. He's got like a big mop top going on. In the like a modern style, his hair kind of flows a little bit forward over here. I know it looks like a mess. These things always do. I think I'll have some eyebrows up here. Some eyebrows on this side. I mean, the whole point is it's supposed to look like a mess. Like it's supposed to look terrible, and then it starts to get refined over time. That's the strategy. Well, I deserve it, Jason. I really do. Maybe I will go Night King on him. Why not, right? Put a little bit of some shadow there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my pencils and kind of work out some refined shapes here. So like a lot of my pictures, my portrait pictures, they end up taking up the entire page, just with the face and stuff. I thought with this one, I might draw, kind of a smaller face. It never fails. Every time I'm working with charcoal, my nose starts itching. So I'm gonna make like a smaller face here, just so that I can get some of the practice on working with like smaller details. I think it'll work out. Abe Lincoln's half brother, Gabe Lincoln. Yeah, we'll call this Gabe Lincoln. It does kind of have like an Abe Lincoln kind of look to him so far, but you guys know these things change up over time. Yeah, so this week for me, like I said, I mean, hey, I'm just in the busy months. For some reason, all my work just seems to be now. And, I've got like multiple clients, they all want stuff. It's it's challenging. I'm hoping it kind of frees up before winter because like I'd like to enjoy the winter, like at least by Christmas. And that's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to be busy on Christmas Day. But yeah, hopefully I get to enjoy some of the fall. There was a fall festival this weekend. I didn't even get to make it to that, but I'll get there. I'd rather be busy while I'm young, and I'm not that young, but I'd rather be busy now than, like when I'm so old, I just want to kind of rest a bit, keep busy. What about the rest of you guys? Like, oh, you're in New Mexico researching a, oh, cool. Well, are you looking for anything in particular? Like, there's some people out there still looking for the treasure, like they don't believe it was found. I try not to judge harshly. Everyone's got a thing. A lot of people are still out there looking for like jars, you know, that might have some loot in it. You never know. A pirate's life is never over. So I'm trying to get this kind of profile here just to kind of figure out where his face actually starts on this side. So like I end up making a big mess, but some of it ends up becoming part of the background. It's not actually part of the face. Let's smooth that out a bit. All right, so I kind of want this chin here to be a little bit off from the nose, so it should probably start like around here. So I kind of have this moved way too over, but that's okay because like his shirt's black, so I can fix all of that. Yeah, there's some people out there who think that whole treasure chest that was found is like fake or like I mean I don't know. There's like a lot of variety in what people think. Like some people think it's fake, some people think, you know, it's all like part of some scam or setup or something where there's still like a either that treasure is still out there somehow, some way, or there's a second treasure out there to find. I'm not looking for any of that stuff, but there's a lot of people out there who do think that. So this line here, I gotta nix that line. I actually need to move it over a little bit. Oh, cool. Oh, with a hand painted butterfly on it? Oh, and an email address. That's cool. Did it look like it'd been out there for, a while? Just kind of get this collar started. I'm not going to spend a lot of time down here on the shirt because like a lot of it's just going to be kind of lost in shadow, but I do kind of want to figure out some parts. Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, like a clay, oh, it's made out of clay. If it was made out of bronze, I'd be all on that. An older Jeff. Well, we'll see how it goes. Like, I really don't know how these things are going to look until they're done. I have it in my mind, the basics of it, but don't know until it's done, or at least further along. Well, really, I mean, sometimes like some of the major details kind of come in at the last minute, so I really don't know until it's done. Anybody have tacos today for Taco Tuesday? I haven't really eaten yet. That's why I was wondering. Like, I'm uh, I'm over here thinking about what I might eat after this show. I do like the idea of tacos. I might run out to Taco Bell. I'm not gonna drive. I've been drinking, but I'll have somebody else take me, or maybe I'll Grubhub it. I haven't done. I've only done that like once or twice. What about you guys? You guys big like food delivery type services, or are you guys not into that? See, I want the eyebrows to kind of come all the way across. And kind of up. I don't want to get too in the weeds on the details yet because I still want to make it where I can move things around. And if you go really dark on some of these details, you kind of limit your ability to do that. So I am going to put some features in, but not too crazy yet. Oh yeah, DoorDash. That might be what I used. I No, I used Uber Eats. That's what I ended up doing. Yeah, I get that. Like, I mean, it's a little pricey. That's why I don't like to do it all that often. Really, I think the only times I've used it is like when I was traveling, like to like a conference or something like that for work, and that's because I wasn't really paying for it. It's other people's money. So there's kind of a shadow that comes across this eye. I was joking about Loki earlier, but that's actually coming back to Disney Plus. Like if you guys hadn't heard, the second season starts next month, which is awesome. I love that show. I'm not into all the Marvel shows that they've been putting out, but I liked Loki. I liked WandaVision. And I like a few of the other ones. I'm probably one of the few people who liked Miss Marvel. And I just say that because most people didn't see it. Like for some reason, everybody I talked to say, "No, I haven't seen that." But I actually liked it. Well, parts of it. Some parts were dumb. Ooh, getting an eye going over there. Yeah, so the one time I remember using I'm pretty sure it was Uber Eats. Uh, I was staying at the Swan Resort Hotel at Disneyland, just because that's where my or Disney World, sorry, because that's where the conference was that I went to, and we didn't have a car available to us, me and my coworker, and all the food places at that resort were super expensive. For one, because it's Disney, and two, because it is a resort. Everything was just super expensive, and we got like $50 a day to eat from like the place I was working at. So it wasn't really my money, but it was really easy to spend $50. Um, yeah, it might be Jeff. This might be Jeff in black and white. I totally get what you're saying. Um, yeah, so like yeah, basically to finish my story, basically um everything was super expensive at the resort, and I didn't realize that, like, because we didn't have a car, I didn't want to spend like a ton of money going off resort to go and get food from other places and everything. And it didn't occur to me until like the last day that I was there that I could use Uber Eats to have food delivered, and that was like a game changer. It was so much better because like there's only so much, like, I don't know, like steak and pasta and things like that you can eat, and that's all they really had at those restaurants. Don't get me wrong, those are all nice and everything, but when you've been eating them for like a week or something like that, you kind of want a little bit of variety. So we ended up ordering like a really nice pizza. Just manager Jeff. They might be related. Like I do see some resemblance here. Maybe it's just that, when I'm drawing a dude, they all kind of look the same. This is a totally different reference photo though, and I think I'm pretty close to it in likeness. So as I work, I end up starting to get into some of the smaller blending. I like to use my fingers because it's just so fun to kind of like get messy with it and everything. But there comes a point where your fingers just become too big, or at least mine do, and then I switch to like these blending stumps. Get like a little highlight going here. Yeah, I could eat pizza every day too, except that I really can't because one, I've got all the problems. So like I really can't eat pizza every day because I'm lactose intolerant, right? And I get heartburn from the pizza sauce. I love it and I will eat it regardless of all these problems, but they are problems, like I do suffer when I eat pizza. I got all the things that you shouldn't have when you go to eat pizza, but I love it. What's your favorite type of pizza? I like the I guess they're called supreme pizzas, ones with the pepperoni and peppers and onions and all that stuff on them. Those are the best. Like it's like eating meat and a salad. I think we probably talked about it in here, but I'm not one of those snobs that hate Hawaiian pizzas, with the pineapple and all that stuff. I actually think those are good. I know there's like that's not always a popular opinion. Like some people do hate those things, but that's not me. I actually like them. This could be like, I don't know, like a Harry Potter character. He's starting to look at just something about doing black and white charcoals. They kind of give a like a mood to the picture, whether you intend it or not. Like this guy wearing a black shirt, kind of like in charcoal. Everything's a big mess. He's got kind of a sinister look to him that isn't really intentional. It just kind of comes through the medium, which is kind of cool. Like I feel like I'm gonna have some fun in October doing a bunch of Halloween themed pictures. So this is all shadow. That's not part of his nostril. Okay, so that's not abundantly clear. I'll try to clean that up so that it doesn't look like one gigantic nostril. That would be weird. So let me try to get a little bit of form in here for a mouth. And I want that to kind of extend past this nostril. So I kind of want it to come out to here if I can get away with it. And then same deal for the bottom lip. He doesn't have much of a chin. Gonna soften this up a bit. Yeah, I think this guy is starting to take on like kind of a bit of a Harry Potter look to him. It wasn't intentional. I wasn't setting out to do that. But, you know, as the picture continues, I start getting a sense of like what I'm drawing. And I'm feeling like this is definitely like some sort of Slytherin character. Bring this all the way up. I think this should go far back here. I think I need to extend the neck out a bit. Make that collar bigger there. Yeah, I'm starting to get Harry Potter vibes off of this. All right, so placement of this eye. So there is some space between the bridge of the, or I gotta stop doing that. I get charcoal all over me. It's October. I like that idea. So I want this to kind of be on the same level as the eye over here. I want his actual iris to be over there. And then I can shorten this up a bit. So it's weird. I can see these things in my mind, even though they're not on the paper. That's neat. It is kind of cool, the drawing process. Like I forget sometimes how cool it actually is. Like I've got it pictured in my mind already, and then it just gets translated to paper. Like that's kind of a neat process when you think about it. Because I can see it in my mind's eye, you know. Let's move some of this out. It's just pushing and pulling, you know. I gotta remember to come back and put in some of these highlights. Yeah, Salazar. Ah, I gotta remember who that is. Is that the founder of the Slytherin house? He kind of has a bit of Malfoy in his face, but it's almost like if Malfoy and Harry had like a love child together. I'm I'm drawing like very strange Harry Potter fan fiction here, I guess. Oh, you know who he looks like? Um, so the guy who plays what's his name? The guy who plays young Dumbledore. This looks like a very young version of him. That's who I see in my head. That's completely unintentional, but that's the likeness I kind of have here. So like if that guy switched sides and was in Slytherin, Jude Law, that's the guy. Yeah, it kind of looks like a young Jude Law to me, but you know, it's interpretive. Anybody can form their own opinion here. Some people think it looks like Jeff, who is on the wall behind me or on the door. But I'm picturing he kind of has these Jude Law type eyes so far. I mean, I could screw it up and lose that likeness. That's another thing that you know deserves to be mentioned is like you can get a likeness and then lose it. You know that happens. So right now, I feel like it kind of looks like Jude Law, like a young Jude Law, like super young, like teenager Jude Law. But then, you know, as it keeps developing, it may end up looking like somebody totally different. We'll see how it goes. It's all fun, you know. That's why sometimes, like when I'm just doing like a generic picture, like and I just like find a model on the internet or something like that, I don't really worry too much about like whether or not it ends up looking like that person because like I'm just having fun and I just want it to look like a human being when it's done. It usually works out. Yeah, like most of the time they look like people. All right, so I kind of want to pull this down. He looks like he has a scar across his face, which is cool. I don't know how much of that's going to stay in there, but oh, cool, your recovery's coming along. I had forgotten about that. I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, I don't have the best memory, so like if there's ever anything that you guys want to remind me of or call my attention to, just let me know. Because like I don't remember things all that often. I got a million different things I carry around in my head, and if I don't write them down, I forget them. So just kind of building up this cheek a little bit so that it's not so dark. And by build it up, I mean I'm adding some highlights in some spots. I'm gonna see how smooth I can make this area over here. Here going. Here. I love drawing with the blending stump as well. Like instead of just like smoothing things out, I actually like drawing with it once it gets some charcoal on it. Especially like soft shapes, like the inner bits of his ear. Cool. It's starting to look like a dude, right? So I'm getting to be more ambidextrous. We talked about drawing with like one hand and then the other. I'm not there yet on drawing, but I can pick up my drink with the other hand now. I used to have to put my tools down, pick up my drink, come back to it. Get a little bit more shadow going on down here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have fun in October, drawing a bunch of scary-ish kind of pictures. I think we got the basic features in here, so that's cool. I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't get the proportions in, but I like these proportions. His face doesn't look that weird. That's the other thing. I'm so used to drawing women that like I kind of know like what are decent like proportions on like a woman, but us guys, I mean, we come in like all kinds of different like shapes and sizes, and it's a little harder to figure out like what might look right for a guy. At least for me, I'm not because I'm not that practiced in it. But if there's one thing I've said a lot on this show is that it's really all about practice, right? So I figure the more I practice drawing dudes, the better I'll get at it. And then it won't feel so weird to be drawing these shapes versus, you know, some of the others. But I do think my best pictures are not these. Like I'm actually really liking like I like the one I did on Friday. There's some things there that I should like I want to change. Like I'd be happier if they were changed, things like that. But for the most part, I think the one I did on Friday turned out really well. Um, like I feel like I'm on the right track. Like it may take me a little while to get there, but I know where I'm heading and it's someplace better than I was. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, I think. So would you lose a bet on? You can't just drop that in here and not expand on it. I'm kind of curious. All right, let me work on this mouth a little bit. Honestly, there's not a ton of difference between doing a portrait of a man versus a woman anyway, because we do have we do have like mouths. We we have noses. I mean, all the same basic body parts. Extend this mouth over. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out and then come back and erase over it just because I want this to be a little bit smoother. Yeah, kind of looks like an evil teenage Jude Law. Smooth out the irises. I don't want these to be dark. I want them to be like really light, so I'll probably tinker with those some more. Oh, you were talking to me. I owe you money. I get it. Okay. I thought you were talking to somebody else. No, my memory is great when it comes to money. I do not owe you shit. No, not gonna get away with it. I'm not that gullible. As I recall, I paid you. That's how my memory works. Yeah, I remember paying that $100 that I lost in a bet. All right, so I think that's pretty cool. He has some dark hair, so I'm gonna kind of roughly sketch that in. Uh, I do like like I don't know when it comes to the dude pictures. I don't think I've picked one yet that has like straight hair. They're all kind of like these curly mops on top, which I think is a cool look. But eventually I should probably change it up a little bit so that I'm not drawing the same dude over and over. But yeah, we've got some curliness going on up here. And there are some parts that are kind of highlighted, so I don't want want to go too far with this stuff. There's a Bob Ross painting for sale. What did it go for? Did you guys see the stolen Van Gogh got returned in an IKEA bag? I think that's hilarious. There's my new goal as an artist. I just want to get to the point where I create something that's worth being stolen. How's that for a goal? I don't even care if it's in a gallery or a museum or, you know, I'm just carrying it on the subway and somebody wants to steal it from me or something. I want to create I want to create art that's worth being stolen. I like playing with hair. This is fun. I just have some hair going kind of all over the place here. Hair's fun because these are the kind of marks I like making. So like, you see I'm just putting like little hints of things in here. I mean, he's got that bedhead mop top kind of thing going on. Yeah, there you go. I appreciate that. Who cares? Like, thanks for wanting to rob me. I appreciate that. I mean, that's kind of a major compliment, though. Like, imagine that. Like, you create something that's worth being robbed. Yeah, there was a. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, the stolen Van Gogh. Yeah, it was returned in an IKEA bag. I think they arrested somebody for stealing it, but they didn't get it back at first. And then just recently, like in the past week, I think, it finally got returned. And like, I don't know if it was just dropped off. The article I read didn't have like a ton of information on it. But the one thing that I thought was funny is, yeah, it was returned in a, what, 10 million? Wow, that's cool. But it was the first one he painted on the show. I can see that being a major collectible. Bob Ross is awesome. The first picture I drew on this show, by the way, just in case, like I already sent that out to somebody. Somebody asked for it. Now I know why they want to offload it someday. All right, so I think that's a good start to the hair. I'm going to. All right, I don't think those eyes are going to move anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and work on those a bit, get those kind of exactly how I want them to be, or close enough, best I can. I think the size on these irises are pretty good. Spacing's pretty good. Anybody? I've got it around here somewhere. The first painting I ever did as a kid. It's terrible. Um, I think I had watched one of the James Bond movies that take place in Japan. So you know how they have those ships out there that kind of have they almost look like dragon wings. So like it's a sailboat, but instead of the big billowy sailboats, it's more like almost like blinds. Um, So anyway, I guess as a kid I was fascinated by that. So I drew a Japanese boat on like a like it's a landscape picture, but predominantly it's like a little Japanese sailboat. And I think there was some guy fishing off of it. I don't know. The proportions were probably like really terrible. It was probably like some really big dude on some really tiny boat or something. But I still have that somewhere. I'm gonna have to find that so I can show you guys. But yeah, you can like I'll sell it to you for like 5 cents. Like the amount I would sell it to you for, like the postage would cost more. Hey Marvel, how's it going? We're drawing. We started off just drawing a dude, but I'm starting to think he looks like a Harry Potter character. Wait to come around. Still working on that eye. Yeah, so like we're I'm trying to kind of like switch it up and kind of get in the habit of drawing more things. And it occurred to me I haven't done a young man in charcoal yet. Like I've done a couple older men. Like I think I tried to do Gandalf one time, and then I did that the guy Roy, I think his name was, from the HBO show Succession. But as far as just like I don't know, just like a basic guy, I haven't done that yet in charcoal. I did that in pastel recently, and I thought that turned out nice. So I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. Let's see how it goes in pastel. I mean, in charcoal. Sorry. So I think that eye looks pretty cool. There's a small highlight over here, and he's going to have same as if I was drawing a female portrait. Gonna have a little bit of a highlight up here. I'm gonna try pastel there actually, so I can get that really white. Kind of come back over that a little bit and kind of clean that up. He's supposed to look a little bit evil. That's not what I set out to do, but now I'm committed to it. I want him to look a little bit evil. So I'm pretty happy with that eye. What's cool about doing these messy charcoal pictures is you get these like little fragments that are running around that kind of work as freckles or like just texture on his face. I like that. I think that's kind of cool. It's something I would want to put in anyway, like while drawing, but you get it for free just by doing the picture this way. Yeah. Maybe he's a vampire. I don't know. I'm still working on it. We'll see how this goes. And the shadow up here, I want that to be softened up. I don't want you to think that that's hair or eyelash or eyebrow or something like that. Probably put my hand all up in charcoal here just to reach over the page. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, he's starting to look evil. He's not evil, he's just drawn that way. He's he's really a nice guy once you get to know him. He's kind of looking a little bit like that guy from Oppenheimer in the eyes. It's probably like a combination of different things unintentionally. Because like I'm barely even looking at my reference photo here. I'm kind of making this guy up as I go along. Get some nice shadow values in there. Let's smooth out this side of the face a little bit. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, Cillian Murphy. I mean, maybe it doesn't really look like him, but I used to watch the show Peaky Blinders. That's such a good show. It's not for everybody, but if you're into like gangster films, it's a good one. Or a series, I guess. It wasn't a film. Plus, like they're all I think they're Irish. I don't remember. Romani. Yeah, that's it. But eh, I don't really know the difference. All right, so I'm gonna try to develop his mouth a little bit here. There's some more work I think I want to do up here. Let me go ahead and address that real quick. I'm gonna pull some of these features across because some of this is cast in shadow and some of it isn't. I think that works. Yeah, he is in every Christopher Nolan movie. He's a good actor though. Like I think maybe the first time I saw him in anything was probably like Batman Begins, like way back in the day, and he played Scarecrow in that. And I thought he like really did well. And then I think probably the next thing I saw him in was probably Inception. Like again, another perfect casting. Although he was like a minor character in that. He just basically played the guy that they were targeting, just your generic business guy. But I liked it. I thought it was really good, and I think he was really good in it. I'm trying to get a mouth going here. A lot of shadow through here. A lot of times when I look for reference pictures, like I've mentioned this before, but I'll go ahead and mention it again. I go looking for like, especially like when working on charcoal, I go looking for pictures that are like high contrast, well lit, that sort of thing. Like black and white preferably. Like I can take a colored photo and translate it to black and white, but sometimes it helps just to start with a black and white photo when working with charcoal, like as your reference stuff. Um, just because like that translation to values, we call them like lights and shadows and stuff like that. That's already done for you. Um, if you have a really nice high quality black and white photo. Like like a lot of people take all kinds of different photos. I like taking black and white photos. I like the contrast. Like even when I'm just out in public or something like that and I'm taking pictures, um, like say I'm at a party or something like that and I'm just taking pictures. I'm taking black and white pictures sometimes, like just because I like it. I think that looks cool. I'm not much of a photographer. But when I do take pictures, I try to make a nice picture out of it. I think I'm better at drawing than I am at photography, just because like I don't really know what is a good subject to photo to take a photo of. A good subject to photo. And I don't have the kind of patience I do like with art. Like I can sit here in a chair for 2, 3 hours and draw and not bothered me one bit. Like I don't feel like I'm wasting my time or anything like that. If I'm trying to take a photo, uh, there's only so much time I'm going to put into taking that photo before I'm like, oh, that's good enough. It's not like I'm trying to win any awards here or anything like that when it comes to that. So guys have the Cupid's bow too, but it's less pronounced. I don't know. Different guys, different ways. Like I've got bigger lips than some dudes. We're all different. Uh, I don't know what that was there. I don't know if I was doing a duck face or what, but yeah, just like women come in all shapes and sizes and styles and stuff, guys do too. So some of us we have fuller lips than others. Some of us have duck faces. Let's see. Nice to be able to know. Pouty lips. There you go. Pouty lips. Or duck face. I think that's the technical term nowadays. Duck face. Starts as a pouty face, but then it becomes a duck face. Yeah, it's starting to look cool. Let me fix up this nose a little bit. So this is in shadow, but like I want to make sure that people realize it's not nostril. Bring this bit down. He's starting to take shape. Try to do that with an eraser. Oh, so is photography something you're into? I'm amazed by photography. Like when people are able to capture something. Like I could be staring at something and be looking at it one way, and then the photographer captures something that is completely like we're looking at the exact same thing. They took a picture of the exact same thing I'm looking at, and yet in the photo, it just comes out magically so different than what it looked like in person. It's so weird. Get kind of that edge of that mouth there. Yeah, photography is awesome. Any particular thing you take pictures of? Is it people? Is it nature? Um, I like to take pictures of street scenes. So like, I don't live in a particularly big town, but I do love urban hiking and just taking pictures of random things that I see. So like, I think I mentioned it on here, maybe somewhere else. What one of my bucket list items is I would love to go to New York City and just kind of like walk around, like not even take any transportation, like a cab or anything like that, just walk. And that would be awesome. Just kind of walk around the city and just kind of explore it. That's the kind of stuff I like to take pictures of. I like taking pictures of street art. He's making the McCoy, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not exactly Harry Potter esque, right? But he's definitely got Harry Potter vibes to it. Like, it's kind of a cross between Malfoy, Harry himself, and maybe a young Dumbledore, because like Jude Law is playing Dumbledore as a young man in those Fantastic Beasts films. And this guy kind of looks like a teenage Jude Law a little bit to me. So I'm just going to run with it and call it that. I think this is definitely like a Harry Potter kind of character. And yeah, it's got a bit of a couple of different characters in here, I think. But I think for this part, it needs to be like super dark. Just to kind of give it a little bit of definition coming into his collar. And I think the shirt itself will kind of come off with that. I think that's a good balance. Maybe bring it up a little bit around his neck. Yeah, that's cool. Now that's a lot of charcoal there. Let me smooth that out a little bit. Cool. I want to lighten this up a little bit along his actual chin. There's some artifacts left over from that initial messiness that kind of makes him look a little rough and everything. So like, you know, if you're trying to duplicate this process, you want to be kind of careful in the initial stages if you're like looking for a person who has super smooth skin. But in this case, I kind of like it. It makes him look a little evil. He's the scar here is totally an artifact from that, but I'm gonna start calling it a scar because it looks like that. And you know, he's got some freckles or like something of that nature in his face as well, which I think is kind of cool. Completely happy little accidents. It's not like I intended that. I always have to keep one finger clean because, like, when I go to scratch my nose, I don't want to get charcoal all over it. The other day, I did one of these like I forget what day it was, but I looked at my face and it was just covered in charcoal. Cousin Fredo Malfoy. Yeah. So this part would be particularly dark because it's catching, you know, like basically the shadow kind of comes down across his neck and kind of extends across his shoulder. So I'm going to super darken all of that. And then I think this collar here kind of just comes down. I don't really want to spend a lot of time developing this shirt. I just kind of want to give an impression of it. You guys know how that goes. Like the closer I get to the face, I'm more worried about smoothness and so on. And the further I get away from the face, the less I care. And that just seems to be the style that I do. Like, it's just the way it is. But I think it works. Smooth all this out so that it doesn't look so rough. I do have a somewhere around here. I got like a little thing that I can use to clean up my hand a little bit. All right, so I want to darken up some of these other areas a bit. What are we doing on time? Oh, we're about an hour in. We got plenty of time. Wow, actually, this one went really quickly. Cool. Maybe I can get some extra details in here, or maybe we end early. I don't know. I was thinking about, so you guys can let me know what you guys think of this. So, like, a lot of these things, they seem to drag on for several hours. So, like, sometimes up to like 3 hours, or I think maybe I even did one that was 4 hours. I don't know, maybe somewhere in the 3 hour zone. I think is the longest one. What do you guys think of just like kind of shortening it up as well? So, like, I still do the live stream for however long it takes. But then I come back and I kind of condense it down into a smaller version. Not even one of my shorts really, but like something that's, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or something like that. So that when people come back to watch, they don't have to watch the full thing. What do you guys think of that? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's a waste of time? I'm trying to think of ways to improve the user experience here, I guess. Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, he would be a brooding character. I like it. I like that word, brooding. He's brooding. Smooth out some of this area here. It's fun no matter the duration. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I figure you guys enjoy just making me make it, like watching me make an ass of myself, stumbling over my words, drunk, and so on. So I thought I'd ask. All right, so he does look brooding. I think I'm going to work on the hair a bit, and I wonder if I can get away with using a pencil for that. Let me see. Kind of get some. I don't know if this pencil works so well. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see what else I got. It's kind of. Use one of these. Oh, yeah, I like that. All right, cool. I'm going to use this vine charcoal piece. A little bit lighter than the other piece, but maybe I can come back and add some darker areas here and there. Yeah, we all get busy at times and stuff. There's some other channels that I really like that I wish I could watch every single one of them, but you know, just can't do it. So you'll never hear me complain when somebody says like they can't watch every one of these. I put them on for fun, like if you guys get a chance to watch them, cool. If you guys don't, I'm not gonna like hold it against you guys. I know that people get busy. I get busy too. There's a lot of channels that I like that some days I don't even have time for YouTube at all. So it would be very hypocritical of me to like give people a hard time if they can't watch my show. In fact, that you guys show up at all is awesome. Like, I count my blessings that anybody comes in here. Like, what is wrong with you people that you're watching me draw pictures and stuff? Like, isn't there better things that you can do with your time? Like, I mean, I super appreciate it. I just don't understand it. Like, I'm just kidding. I really do appreciate it. Like, no one is entitled to viewers. Like, the fact that you guys are in here watching this stuff. I mean, that's amazing to me. I really appreciate it. I really do. I try to do good pictures and stuff to kind of like give you guys, value for like your time and everything. And like when I don't do a good picture and you guys had to sit through like a me drawing a terrible picture or something, I feel really bad about that. I mean, I try not to like sweat it too much, but you know, you guys are definitely on my mind when I'm creating a bad picture. I'm like, oh, I let them down. I suck so bad. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. I like this hairstyle. It's kind of cool. Oh, thanks, Marvel. That's so sweet. I mention it pretty much all the time, but in case you guys didn't know, Marvel draws pictures as well. She does these really cool characters. If you hadn't, if you haven't had a chance to check out her stuff, it's definitely worth watching. It's really cool. Who was that person that you drew recently that I thought was cool? Oh yeah, it was Coraline from the stop motion animated show movie. I think that was Tim Burton. I don't know, but yeah, Coraline's such a great movie. She did a picture of that recently. I thought that was cool. I don't think you put the button eyes in though. Like you're gonna have to do another version of her with the button eyes, or maybe you did. I don't know. All right, so he's got a wisp of hair kind of coming down. Yeah, Tim Burton. This vine charcoal is awesome. I need to get some that is super dark and light and so on, so that I have this. And like, I don't even know where I got these, but I really like using them for things like hair and so on. He does look evil. He looks sufficiently evil. This is awesome. Kitty wants in. Oh, what she had? I like was that like a dream or something like that, or like kind of a vision or something? Or maybe she never got the eye like the buttons at all, and I'm thinking of somebody else who had them. But it's been a number of years since I watched that. Maybe that's just something she was supposed to get and never got, or something. Sounds like you've watched it a couple of times. It's actually a really good movie for the upcoming season. Like it's kind of scary, but not too scary. It's it kind of runs that gamut a bit. Should add some shadows right here. I'm putting way more detail into this collar than I usually do for this shirt. Just because I feel like I'm ahead of schedule here. I got a little bit of time. When you've got some time, you can develop some of this stuff a little bit further. She was like, hell no. I do remember that. Yeah. Yeah. Such a good movie. So artistically cool. And that's actually what I really liked about it. Like movies that really up the artistic value. Like I mentioned before, I'll keep mentioning it just because I think it was so well done. All those Spider-Man and Man Into the Spider-Verse movies, the artistic, like the quality of those movies from like an artistic standpoint is just immeasurable. Like they must have spent time making sure that every single like frame of that movie was was just so, because like basically you could take that movie and you know, screenshot it or something at any given moment, blow that up, put it on your wall, and that's a piece of art. I love those Spider-Verse movies. Gonna beef up the eyebrows over here. Oh, Arcane, yeah. Yeah, League of Legends. That is a great show as well. Like, honestly, everything about that show was good. The story, the art, everything. That's a winner. Yeah, man, I'm surprised I didn't remember that myself. That is a great it's on Netflix, so like any of you guys who haven't seen Arcane on Netflix is worth it. It's just so visually awesome. Jinx is such a great character. I forget the other girl's name, but the stories there are just so well written. So it has kind of the combination. It's visually cool. Like there's been some movies that are visually cool that like the story sucked. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know they exist. It's nice when there's a movie that kind of has both, you know. Actually, I can think of one. There's a yeah, it's a League of Legends Jinx. Yeah, she's in they made a show out of it and on Netflix, and it's just visually awesome. Like if you haven't seen it. Um I did think of one that looks visually awesome, but the story's not quite there. They made a an animated story of um, Blade Runner. Uh, I forget the name of it, like the full title, but that was I think on Hulu, and it looked visually awesome, like this, like a work of art. But I didn't like the story so well. It wasn't terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's just not. It wasn't great. Like I feel like they could have spent some more time on it, and like the animation wasn't as solid as Arcane or anything like that. Of the two, I mean, obviously Arcane is the best, even though they are very similar. In, like they're similar shows for similar audiences, I think. And of the two, the hands down winner was Arcane. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I've been drinking, guys. I don't know what I'm trying to say. clean this ear up a little bit, make it look like a real ear. Oh, Love, Death, and Robots. That sorry, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that, but yeah, that's another great one. Just all the different artistic styles. Um, sorry, I'm very excited about that one. That is definitely in my list of like some of the best animation I've ever seen. Now, I like to watch short films anyway. So and there's a number of them on like YouTube today, but even back in the day, uh, some of the short films are better than like full feature length films as far as like just a good story, right? Um, Love, Death, and Robots. For those who haven't seen it, it's just a collection of short stories. Some of them are set in the future, some of them are more like fantasy, I guess. But yeah, yeah, total solid art work on that. Um, in fact, I don't even think I saw the last episode that they put out just because I want to savor it. Like, I don't want to like call it done at any point. I love that. I love that show. It's also I like that they're making shows like that because that is done by like a multitude of different writers and different animators, and it gives them all like the ability to kind of show off their styles. I'm trying to think of there used to be a magazine that was kind of like that. I can't remember it now. It was like I think it was called Heavy Metal. I think they stopped publishing it, but it was kind of for like I don't know, like the heavy metal scene, right? So like uh, a lot of sci-fi in it, a lot of fantasy art, things of that nature. Definitely not for kids. So like if you're under a certain age, don't go looking for heavy metal. Um, but I mean, what I liked about it is it gave like a bunch of different artists the ability to kind of show off and kind of show their own style, their own take on things and stuff. It's a lot like comic books. It's one of the reasons I like comic books. When you go to read a run of comic books, it's as much for the artist as it is for the writer and so on. It may be the same character that you're used to, like maybe it's Spider-Man or something like that, but it's a Spider-Man drawn in a certain style by a certain artist, written by a certain writer. Um, for example, like Batman, right? I love Batman no matter what. Uh, but Frank Miller's Batman is the best Batman for me. Like that was like really a showcase of Frank Miller's work. And while there's other Batman artists, I can't remember them and everything, but that really stands out to me because they I don't know where I'm going with this, but my point is, I think that it's just really nice when they showcase a bunch of different artists and their different styles, and that's what that Love, Death, and Robot. Yeah, there you go. Bring it back around, back to the Love, Death, and Robots. Um, they really highlight the different artists and stuff. I love it. It's great. I'm glad you brought it up. Frank Miller is one of my favorite comic book illustrators, by the way. Not just Batman, but he did a really awesome. Basically, everything he does ends up becoming a movie. But he did a really great run of Daredevil, which is another one of my favorite characters. Batman and Daredevil, they're kind of similar. There's like one's DC, one's um, Marvel, but they're kind of similar in the type of character. You know, this kind of ninja like guy. But yeah, Frank Miller, he's really good storyteller. He did Sin City. He did I can't think of anything else, but he's just really good. A lot of what I'm doing now is just because I have the time. I'm really trying to clean up this picture a little bit and make it as great as it can be. Just because like I don't know, I usually do these for like an hour and a half to 2 hours and stuff. And I kind of finished this one a little bit early, but if I've got the time, might as well clean it up a bit. But I don't picture this substantially changing. Like if you guys need to get to bed or something like that because you have work tomorrow or whatever or school. That's a passable ear. It's not the best ear. I had a white pencil somewhere, but I think I don't have it here. So I'm gonna have to use this. But I kind of wanted to clean some of this up a little bit more, so let me use the pastel here. Somehow this little highlight here got a little muddied, a little bit darker than what I wanted. Kind of want to define that ear shape a little bit better. But yeah, Love, Death, and Robots. That's a great one. Heavy metal. That's great. If you're of a if you're old enough. I realize some of my viewers are on the younger side. I don't want you. I don't want you going looking that up and being like, well, Jeremy said it was fine. No, no, no. Don't get me in trouble. Um, but yeah, just collections of art that really showcases the various different styles that people do things in. I will always be a fan of that. And those examples I think are really good for that. We put like a little bit of highlight on this neck over here just to kind of separate it out from the hair behind it. And could probably smooth that out a little bit. Highlight a little bit down here. The highlights are good for like really, well, highlighting something, but also it kind of cleans things up. So like you can make things smoother that way. Like oftentimes I like to put, and it's not so much in this picture, but I like to put like a line of reflected light along the jawline just to kind of pull it out from the shadows beneath it and kind of let you know where the face ends and the neck begins. So just like a thin line of like highlight. Just random highlights just to add some texture, I think. And then I'll do that as well up here in the hair. Just to add some highlights and make it more hair-like. Get a bit of some swooshing going. But yeah, I think I'm getting pretty close to done on this one. I like this. Like, I don't know why I was so intimidated. It's so weird. People are intimidated by different things when they go to draw things. For me, it's like, I don't know, like when I'm drawing the female face, there's not like a lot of like texture in there. There's not like a lot of everything smooth, things like that. I feel less intimidated by it. When drawing a dude's face, like I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot more things that could go wrong. It's so weird. And like there's no real reason for me to think that. It's just the way my mind works. Like I think when I go to draw a guy, I'm gonna end up getting stuck in this rabbit hole of, you know, details and features and stuff and like never be able to finish. And it's really not that way. I don't know why my mind thinks it is, but I don't know. Like that's just the way the mind works, I guess. But I felt that way that like last week, last Tuesday, I drew that pirate, and I was really getting kind of concerned there for a little bit. Like, man, there's so many details of this pirate, and I finally ended up just saying, screw it, I'm just going to get a basic pirate done. I'm not going to worry about the details and stuff. And that's really how you have to go. Like, basically, you just have to decide how much detail you want to put in. Don't worry about the rest. And I think that works. Just to get a picture done and call it done. But I'm not completely happy with that pirate. I think it turned out okay, but I really would have liked to have had more time to put in details. Get some highlights on that mouth there. I think that looks cool. What else can I pick up here in the last little bit? Get like a little bit of a highlight on this eye over here to kind of separate it out from the shadow. I think that looks really cool. He's got these kind of piercing eyes, which is awesome because that just makes him look evil. Like, if you're going to draw an evil dude, you really have to focus on the eyes because there's so much expression in the eyes. It makes him look evil, right? I'm not saying this guy is pure evil or anything like that. Maybe he's just misunderstood. I don't know. But I kind of feel like whatever makes him evil, he's not really looking that evil anymore. Like he looks okay. Like I'm not gonna call this guy evil anymore. Like he's definitely from Harry Potter, kind of like looking, but I wouldn't say he's from Slytherin. He could be a hero. I don't know. He kind of looks like Superman, like Superboy or something like that. Thanks, Marvel. All right, yeah, I think there's a point where I'd be overworking it if I went too much further. But let me try to fix up this nose a little bit. I wanted a bit of a shadow kind of coming across here to make up his nose, but this is way too dark. He could be Anakin Skywalker. He's got that face, right? He's got that kind of face where he could be a bunch of different things. I'll leave it up to the viewer's imagination. Like I don't really want to like limit viewers' take on my picture. I don't feel like I'm qualified to tell you what it's supposed to be. You guys kind of work that out for yourselves. But I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks cool. It's kind of get a couple more little things in here. Jeff Skywalker. I love it. You guys are way more creative than I am. I need to like just draw the pictures and have you guys write the descriptions. Like let you guys decide like what to put in the title and description and all that stuff. Like people who weren't here for this conversation will be very super confused. Like, what are they talking about with like Jeff Skywalker? Like, could you imagine if the title was just a portrait of Jeff Skywalker? This kind of, yeah, let me put in some little wisps here and there, just kind of sketched in. That's kind of cool. Hey, it turned out better than I thought it was going to. Bring this across a little bit more. And then I guess, like if I wanted to, I could put in like some stylistic things. So like one of the things I'm going to do this just to mess it up, but one of the things I like to do is I like to take the eraser, right, and kind of form a chisel to it where I kind of have like a straight edge. Let me start from scratch. By the way, this eraser is my stress ball. Like during the day, even when I'm not drawing, I'll take this eraser and I'll just like form little things. Like I like to make little hats with it and so on. But anyway, I form like this little chisel, and then sometimes I just like to, put like some streaks across it just to kind of give it some cool style. All this really is doing is kind of like smudging things a bit, and it does kind of lift things up, you know, just get some like random lines going and stuff like that. I think that's part of the messy charcoal look aesthetic It's just to have like randomness in it. And at worst, you end up with like some smooth areas that are like, that were kind of rough before. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Like, it doesn't add much. It's just kind of cool, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's dumb. I have fun doing it. All right, yeah. So I think we're about done. This looks like some guy named Jeff. I feel like all the pictures I do are of Jeff. Um, but yeah, another young man portrait. I like it. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll do some more in the future. Again, it's all just to kind of like broaden my horizons and challenge myself and see what all I can draw. And then maybe next time I'll vary it up and I'll do like another portrait of like an older dude or something like that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's kind of cool. All right. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Tuesday night. Hopefully the rest of the week goes well for you guys. Oh, sorry, I adjust this a little bit. Notice there was some form around his like Adam's apple, so I kind of wanted to clip that. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta like stop messing with it. Yeah, expressive. There you go. He's definitely got a he's got some sort of like look to him. Like he's a I don't know. I'll have to leave it up to you guys, like what the story is behind this, what he's looking at. Put it up for sale on an online store. Who would buy this random dude? I don't know. This random dude named Jeff. Yeah, maybe at some point I'll actually draw things that people care about and I'll put it up on a store. But in the meantime, Jeff, he's thinking about something. Hey, guess what? So like down in the comments, you guys can add a comment about what this guy is thinking, what his backstory is. That would be awesome. Like if you guys could do that. But in the meantime, I'll let you guys go. And hope you guys have a great rest of the week. It's only Tuesday, so you perfect opportunity to go out there and draw some pictures or make the week whatever you guys want it to be. When I come back on Friday, I want you guys to tell me how awesome this week was because I told you that you guys could go off and make the week whatever you want. So Carpe Diem and all that crap. In the meantime, I'll see you guys on Friday. Let me go to just me. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll see you guys on Friday. We'll create something new. I've got a dude to hang up there on the wall, which is awesome because it is very, there's a lot of women and dogs and maybe one cat up there somewhere. I don't know, in a gizmo. So I like variety. I think it's great. Long story short, see you guys. Have fun. Bye.